If you drive in this type of behavior, we're going to take your vehicle.
And you heard what he said. If you go drive recklessly and do what they did in this video, I'm going to show you. We have the surveillance video from it. They will take your car and you will never get your car back ever again. Let's get into the video and show you what happened. This is my Dodge Charger Scatpack wide body. It's big, it's loud, it's bright red. It simply grabs attention no matter where I go. Unfortunately, I bought a car that is 60 times more likely to be stolen than any other car on the road. With the long list of mods and things I bought for this car, one of the first things I installed on my car was this. Carlock, the world's best GPS tracker and alert system. With Carlock, you will be able to live track your car with the GPS from your phone. Also, get alerts sent directly to your phone if anything is going on with your car, such as vibrations, engine starting, the car moving when it shouldn't be moving, or if there's a loss of power, your car lock will get an alert for that as well. Be sure to get your car lock. Use my link down in the description below and these discount codes to get a 10% discount on your car lock purchase, as well as a 14-day free trial of the car lock service as well. Let's get into the video. So you see the title and you see the thumbnail. If you go out and go to an empty parking lot, decide to do some burnout, some donuts, this one police department is not playing games with that at all whatsoever. They will take your car and they will try to sell your cars.
3 Dodge Chargers have been seized by the city of Flint and are set to be auctioned off in the near future. City officials say this incident happened back in May, and these drivers are accused of causing damage to properties around the city. TV5's James Felton joins us live from Flint with what comes next. James?
All right, so pretty much you see the situation here. So pretty much a whole bunch of Dodge Chargers decided to go to an empty parking lot, not residential, not a takeover, anything like that. They went to an empty parking lot in a commercial building over a weekend or whatever, and they decided to do some donuts and, you know, do that whole thing, right? Slide the car, donuts, burnouts, all of that. And this led to some extreme action from the local police department here, as you'll pretty much see.
This is the city's first seizure of cars this summer, and city officials say they're ready to take more if necessary.
We have just seized 3 vehicles, all Dodge Chargers, for $100,000 plus.
And you can see they got one of the cars in the background sitting on the tow truck, just showing, you know, what's going to happen if you do this, you know, these activities or what have you.
Damage inside of our corporate community and our residential areas.
Flint Mayor Sheldon Neely says the vehicles responsible for causing the damage you're seeing on your screen are now property of the city and will be auctioned off to help pay for repairs. Flint Police Detective Sergeant Tyrone Booth tells us this happened on May 18th.
This particular video you're looking at occurred at Ashley Capitol on the north end of Flint, where vehicles met to drag race.
Now I want to stop right here. This is something that always happens when it comes to when like the police or whoever gets involved with situations like this. They always refer to doing donuts and stuff and doing burnouts as drag racing. This, we all know, like car people actually understand, like this is not drag racing. At no point did they line up beside each other and go flying down this whole parkway or whatever. And we have the surveillance footage of what happened here. Pretty much this is a summary of what happened, but there's no drag racing whatsoever. So I kind of hate that those terms get interchanged with each other. They see donuts, they think drag racing. They see burnouts, they think drag racing. This is not drag racing at all. No one's lining up. No one's racing from one end of this parking lot to the other. None of that is occurring at all.
And in the parking lot, they did a lot of destruction to the property there, and they were there approximately 45 minutes to an hour.
Booth says once the trio of cars were identified, it didn't take long to bring them in and hold their drivers.
Put the tags out there.
Booth tells us criminal charges are pending and will be announced in the near future. Meanwhile, Neely says this is part of Flint's Safe and Clean initiative. It's all in an effort to get reckless drivers and their vehicles off the street.
Ashley Capital, you know, with the investment of $300 million into this community to provide a big tax base for the city, as well as good paying jobs for residents. it's important for us to not let these people come in and damage the level of investment that we have in this community. Why are they doing it? For fun? There are better ways to have fun than damaging people's property.
So I kind of see there's two sides to this, right? There's one side of, okay, where they went to an empty parking lot, what's the harm in that? The other side of this, from the city standpoint, they're looking at it from a side of, hey, this business is coming into our city, giving us jobs and things like that, making the economy better for them, giving people opportunities to find employment and things of that nature. And they don't want that business to move because they are having to run into that situation. So I can kind of get what's going on here. They're looking out for the people in that area, but we're going to have more conversation about that in a second.
Booth tells us if you don't want to have your car end up here, drive with safety in mind.
If you drive in this type of behavior, we're going to take your vehicle.
The city says forfeiture proceedings are being carried out in accordance with Michigan law, with full coordination between law enforcement and the city attorney's office. The city of Flint says it remains committed to working alongside law enforcement and residents to identify and deter illegal activities, ensuring a safer, more peaceful environment for all.
So that's the situation that we're dealing with right now. They are, as you heard, making sure these cars are taken from the owners. They are going through the whole, proceedings to forfeit the cars. And the plan is, looking at the article, they are planning to auction those cars off as soon as possible. So they doesn't appear, I didn't see any fines being mentioned or anything like that. They are not playing. So again, my question to everybody is, do you think they went too far or not far enough, right? I'm going to show you this one last video. This is the actual surveillance video from that area, from the warehouse parking lot that they went to and did donuts in. And you will see from this video, there's not any racing at all. They just all met up, did some donuts, and left. They were there for about 45 minutes to an hour, as it stated in the whole press conference around it. But this is the surveillance video from kind of across the way. So I'm gonna show y'all kind of what all transpired here. Now, it's not going to be a whole hour of it. They did cut it up into sections and things like that, kind of highlighting certain things, but there's no sound, no audio to it. But it does kind of show what was going on. So like I said, so here's the whole situation of what happened. Here's the surveillance video from right across the way. Like I said, there's no sound here, and I'm not going to show you the whole 8 minutes of video. It's pretty much the same stuff, right? So you got all the cars pulling up. I think that was one of the cars that was on the back of the truck. It didn't have a bumper there. That's probably a Hellcat there. I think they took that car. You got the Durango here. So some of these cars didn't get taken, right? There's a bunch of cars that show up. But you can see here, I'm gonna kind of skip through. So they're pulling into the parking lot. They get in there, right to it. When the cars start going out there and doing donuts. So it's pretty much the only cars they took were the cars that was out there doing donuts. So it was only 3 cars. You see the parking lot, no one's been out there. He got kind of close to that car, I'm not gonna lie. No tire marks stuff at first, but they go out there, start doing donuts. So that's the first car, kicks it off. Kind of skip ahead there. Some more cars show up here. So more and more people showed up here. So it wasn't like hundreds of people or anything like that. Pretty sure there's like a group of friends. They all got together and decided to go out here. So that was probably one of the other cars that got taken here. And that was the other car. I think that's the one you saw at the end of the video. That's kind of half and half. So they're out there. So I think I'm pretty sure those are the only 3 cars that did something. They couldn't get the tags for the other one. So there's the blue car again. So you got the blue car, the black car, and the half and half teal and black, right? You can see, look at the tire marks all through here. All of that. It was a perfectly clean pavement and all that. So now they're done. They're all leaving. Only a couple cars. He got kind of a little sideways, but I mean, that's minuscule compared to all of that, right? Everybody's leaving. A couple more people getting a couple more donuts in before they leave. They headed out. We can see a little darker now. So I got a feeling it had to be a little bit more than an hour, I think. But so that is the full reason and the full video of why these cars are getting put up for auction. And my question still remains, like, does this punishment fit the crime? Does going to a empty warehouse parking lot on, I'm assuming May 18th was a weekend. I could probably, hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm gonna look up May 18th. That happened this year. So May 18th, that was on May 18th was a Sunday in May. So Sunday evening in May is when this occurred, right? So does the punishment fit the crime here? Now, there's definitely two sides to this, right? Depending on how you want to look at it. If you look at it from a business standpoint, like from where the cops are talking about, they're saying that this company is invested in the community, they're providing jobs, and they don't want anything to ruin that relationship that they have here, right? At all, period. And I totally get that. They're making sure that doesn't happen. You can see the parking lot was perfectly clear. It wasn't destroyed, as they say, even though we all know that you take a pressure washer out there and clean that up. But I'm gonna get into more on that in a second. They don't want anything to put that relationship in jeopardy with that company that is there, right? Because the company leaves, that takes away jobs from the community and things of that nature. Now, I'm not aware if I've heard of this happening before. I'm not aware if I heard of a company leaving a community or leaving a certain place because of their parking lot getting damaged or things like that. Now, more than likely, that company doesn't own that building. A lot of times those companies rent or lease those facilities. So there also could be a situation where, you know, whoever owns it, they have some kind of clause or something in their lease agreement where they can't have damage to the pavement and things like that. Because more than likely this company will leave and then another company can take over that area or whatnot. So that could be, you know, kind of something that could, you know, impact whether this company stays or not if they are having to go out and deal with that on a regular basis. And, you know, once some people go out to an area and start doing that, everybody goes out to that area and starts doing it. And I've seen that happen here, right? You know, you get someone that finds a warehouse parking lot that's not being used and they start doing donuts and things out there. Then somebody else finds it, and then by the time everyone in the city knows about it and everyone goes there to, you know, just have fun and do whatever, right? It's got to the point where, in at least this area where I've seen, even some places where I've recorded or taken pictures and things, that they actually put some of those police like solar cameras out there where it starts recording when you go out there. And like I used to record some of my videos, some of my old videos while I'm out there talking and stuff like that. So, and a lot of those areas now have that in there. Even new warehouses that they're building have those cameras out there. Like no one's been out there, but they go ahead and do that. So I can see from that standpoint. Now, from the police standpoint, they are here saying that, you know, these type of activities, it kind of holds residents hostage and all this type of stuff, all this words. Actually, I'm gonna look up, there's that words where the safety and quality of life for our residents are paramount. We will not allow a few bad actors to destroy property, endanger lives with reckless driving, or hold our neighborhoods hostage. And I'll put that on the screen here. That was the exact words that they said. Now, I don't agree with some of these words, like destroy property. Now, is the property destroyed? No. I would say this: if they're going to punish them, make them go clean it up. Make them take a pressure washer or whatever it takes to get the rubber up, go out there and clean it up. I guarantee you, if you go out there and have to clean that up, you're probably not going to have to do that again. You want to spend one of your weekends out there cleaning up all that rubber, right? Endangering lives with reckless driving. The only lives they honestly endangered were themselves. There were no one out there. It wasn't like this was an active work environment. I understand that they did this during a time where, you know, people are working, trucks are moving through there and things like that. Yeah, you out of line. You shouldn't be doing that. But this was during a time where there was no one there. No one's lives were being endangered. No one hit anybody that I could tell. If they did, it would have been their own people. It wasn't like kids out there running around, any of that, right? And the other thing is, what they say, I'll make sure I'm looking at it. Hold our neighborhoods hostage. That one's a little wild to me, because a lot of you guys know commercial areas like that normally don't have houses or residential areas nearby. There's not kids playing. It's not stopping anyone from doing anything. They went to a place where no one was and did this. Now, I'm not condoning the behavior and things like that. I think if you're going to punish them, make them clean it up, because you clearly found out who they were. You did that, right? But it looks like you're trying to send a message. But they didn't do this in a takeover environment. They didn't go and block off a street to do this. They didn't go block off an intersection to do this. They didn't go into a Walmart parking lot where people are shopping and driving through to do this. They went out into a commercial area where no one was to do this. Now, whether you agree with doing this or not, this is not too much different from someone or some people going on some back roads deep in the country away from everybody and lining up and doing racing, right? We've seen a lot of videos of people doing that. Granted, you go to a track to do that type of thing. There's a lot more tracks where you can do drag racing there. But if you go out way in the country where there's no one at and you do that, right? Because you understand what are you doing, but you also don't want to You don't want to interfere with anybody else, right? So that's why you do that. And they did that, right? They wanted to go somewhere. They felt the need or urge to burn some rubber, do donuts, all that type of stuff, but they didn't want to do it in a spot where they impact other people as far as people driving through or working or anything like that. So I guess another topic of discussion along these lines, like the police had to use a lot of resources to, track these cars down, find out who they were, go get them, go have them towed, and then go through the whole process of trying to get the cars forfeited so they can sell them at an auction, right? Is this the best use of police resources, right? I know there are going to be some differences of opinions on this, but is this something that the local police there should be going to attack, right? Now, as I stated before, I understand from a business standpoint that you don't want your property with, how a bunch of tire marks and things like that. Now, will this business pack up and leave because of a tire marks and things like that? I don't know. I don't know. Like, again, like I said before, I don't know what kind of agreement they have on their lease that could have, they could end up having their lease terminated or whatnot. I don't know. But is this what the cops should be focusing their time and efforts on? Now, again, like I said before, this is an empty parking lot on an off day. As you can tell from the video, there's hardly any trucks backed up to any docks. The ones that were there were way at the other end of the parking lot, and none of the cars were anywhere close to there, right? The only piece of equipment that we saw there that was kind of close was kind of like the boom lift or wherever it was. That was there, but again, that was kind of off in the corner and things like that. The only people they were endangering were themselves, and the only property that was destroyed was putting down the tire marks into this empty lot. Again, is this the best use of police resources? Are you fine with your local department not going after theft, murders, or kidnappings because they're too busy chasing people out of empty parking lots there? I know there will be difference of opinions there, but this does seem to me a little far for this particular crime. Now, I say this, right? If a punishment is needing to come out of this, my opinion on this, what should happen, the owners, have them clean it up, put some surveillance video out there, some kind of signs or whatnot. I mentioned like the solar power police cameras and stuff like that. Put that out there and be done with it, or have someone block it off on days where it's closed or whatnot. But if it's going to be that big of a problem, right? Those are very simple and viable solutions. But to take the cars, auction them off is kind of extreme. I know for a fact there are people that have been involved with takeovers that didn't have their cars taken and auctioned off. They got the cars back. And this is way less extreme than a takeover. I don't condone takeovers. I don't condone blocking off streets to do donuts. If you want to do donuts, I always say go somewhere where it doesn't impact other people. Like, don't go to these residential neighborhoods. Don't go into downtown areas and do things like that. Go off somewhere where it doesn't impact other people, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Are you happy with the outcome of this? Are you satisfied with seeing people have their cars taken for doing donuts or burnouts in an empty parking lot? Do you feel that this is the best use of police resources if your department were to do something similar? Now, one thing I will say is this. Typically, a lot of these departments do follow suit and do what others do, right? So if this one department decides to take cars and put them up for auction, a lot of other departments may follow suit and do the same thing depending on the outcome. They're going to say, hey, we did this, and this is kind of dropping crime that we saw, blah, blah, blah. And other people are like, hey, okay, they did that, we should start doing that too, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if more stories like this come about, because like I said, police departments talk to each other. Of course, they have their own network of things, and they are watching what others do, because this is now kind of a nationwide known thing. With this particular story, a lot of people are going to have eyes and ears on it. So like I said, I'm not surprised if this does come to other areas. We start hearing more and more about other departments following suit. But let me know your thoughts in the comment below. If you made it this far in the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of car related things. We talk cars, we add mods to cars, do all kinds of stuff like that on the channel. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We will catch you on the next video. We're out. Cut it.